In this video, I am going to talk to you about how to analyze the job description so that way you can add value to your resume and show the employer how you will bring value to their organization. Once you have the job description up, which for this video, I have chosen Program Director, Residential Mental Health, which was found on Indeed, and it's located in Victorville, California. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you meet the qualifications for this position. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that we do everything according to God's direction. This is what the Lord is telling you to apply for, and you're for sure this is the direction. Then a lot of times you have that experience. You just need to translate it into language that the employer can see the value. Okay, so the initial step that you want to do is you want to read the entire job description through. And this way you can get your first glance at it. And then when you read it the second time, there may be different things, skills, experience that will be highlighted to you the second time around that you probably didn't notice the first time around. So once you read it the first time through, then break it down section by section. So what you want to do is pay attention to must-haves. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you've been in this job search, you know that they don't always list it as a must-have, but it will probably be listed as a requirement, a job requirement. And so that's what you want to pay attention to. For this job, they listed it at the top, and then they also they put what you'll bring. So they kind of put it in two places just so you're aware, like this is what they need. And if you notice, they have here that they want 2 years of full-time work experience in a community program that serves clients who have a mental illness. So if you're thinking about it, it's a community program and it's serving clients with a mental illness. So that's what you want to make sure that you're showing, that you have that 2 years of experience. If you have more, great, but you want to show that you have the 2 years. So maybe you worked with a homeless program, or maybe you're working with a veterans program and you do case management, or maybe you do behavioral health specialist. So that will give you your 2 years of experience. And there are probably other positions that you've done, or you could be like a residential counselor, because I know they deal a lot with helping clients with that have mental illness. So any experience that you have where you've worked in a supportive services type of environment with people that have mental illnesses, you want to definitely highlight that. The next thing that you want to do, it says such experience must be a direct provision of services to clients, of which 1 year must be in the position of supervising direct care staff, or as an alternative to the bachelor degree and experience required, a total of 4 years of experience in community program providing direct services to persons with mental disabilities, of which 1 year must be in the position of supervising direct care staff, and graduation from high school or possession of a GED may be substituted. So they're letting you know here, okay, they're flexible on the 2 years, because ultimately the 2 years they want you to have a bachelor's degree with the 2 years. If you don't have a degree, but you have 4+ years of experience, they're letting you know, okay, perfect. But where there is no flexibility is that they want you to have the 1 year of experience supervising direct care staff. So that is something, and they repeated that. So that's something that you want to make sure you are speaking to. You want to show them that you meet these minimum qualifications first before you do anything. So this is something that I would say, okay, check this off. Do I meet these requirements? If I don't meet the 2 years full-time experience in the bachelor's degree, do I at least have 4 years or more? And then do I have that 1 year of supervising position of direct care staff? Okay, if you do, let's go on. So then it says the program director will oversee social rehabilitation residential programs of our San Bernardino, California location. And then it goes in to say the program director oversees the day-to-day operations, keep that in mind, in the home and supports direct care staff in their role. So once again, you're seeing how they're repeating it again, that, okay, you are supporting direct care staff in their role. So that's where that 1 year of experience comes in, because you're supporting the staff. The program director participates in monthly interdisciplinary treatment team meetings and provides clinical support in the home, must serve as a role model for clients and staff to support the culture of helping hearts. So right here, this is giving you a summary of what they're looking for. So out the gate, at minimum, this is what you should be explaining in your resume to show them, hey, I'm the person for the job. I meet these requirements that you're looking for. Now, when we go into the duties, here is where you might not be able to address every bullet point. But what you want to do is pick out significant bullet points. So you're reading it again and picking out what you notice. If they repeat something, or if it's something that is definitely going to be valuable, all of it's valuable to the role, but something that okay, this is going to definitely pique their interest and get them interested in learning more about me and calling me in for that interview. So right here again, in this first bullet point, it says responsible for successfully managing the daily operations and needs of the assigned home. So once again, there's that term there, daily operations, right? Where did we see that before? We saw that here, where it says day-to-day operations. They just worded it differently. So right there, that's letting you know I need to speak about how I oversaw daily operations in my past roles, or how I oversee them now, because that's going to be important. And then it goes into communicate effectively through the chain of command to the licensee concerning the operation of the facility. So that goes into the daily operations aspect of it. And you are already covering that with what this here, the daily operations, and you're going to incorporate what did that look like for you? Like, how specifically do you oversee the daily operations in the organization that you're at, or in your previous organization? And once again, or oversee the daily clinical needs of all clients in the facility. That ties bit back into the daily operations. So they're heavy on someone that can really navigate the operations of the facility to make sure that workflows are happening and they're streamlined and everything is running smoothly within that organization. So you want to make sure that you are highlighting how you implement different things that you do in order to ensure that there's a smooth process running within the department that you're working in, or if it's a nonprofit organization, like just to make sure that the staff has what they need, the clients have what they need on a day-to-day, like you're anticipating those needs. So you want to highlight that within the resume. And then it's oversee and carry out the overall treatment program and management of the facility, and clinical coordinator. So, I mean, this I would, yes, if you can speak to it, but I'm really looking for now, because they're still talking about the facility, they're talking about the operations. So we've already come to the conclusion, okay, this is what we need to do. Here it says educate and train the direct care and BHT staff on all issues related to client treatment, including changes in the treatment plan or concerns or additional monitoring or tracking they deem necessary for clinical purposes. So right there, this tells me that you do need to have experience in training staff. You need to have experience in mentoring and coaching them, and being able to steer them in the right direction to make sure that they're following the treatment plans. That you need to have communication skills to be able to effectively communicate changes and help your staff adjust to those changes. That you need to ensure that they're performing their job correctly. And so that's something that you want to highlight in your resume. So here we see that it says complete weekly clinical reviews and audits of all progress notes, MARs, and monthly summaries for each client. So let's just say that you're working as a case manager, but maybe you are a lead case manager. And so your job is to oversee the work of the other case managers. It's to ensure that you perform audits to make sure that they're notating the files, that they are moving the files along. The clients are moving through a process. Let's say you help them find housing, so they're moving through the different stages of that process. So that's what you want to ensure, that the case managers are doing their part, that they're in compliance with the program needs, the state needs, federal needs, all of that. So that's something that you want to highlight. Anytime that you've done audits and you're auditing work, you're auditing those that are subordinate to you, you want to include that here as well. You're not just taking this information and putting it in a copy and paste style, but you're really just speaking to them and not just taking information, but you're actually taking it in a way that will explain how you meet the needs of this job description. Once again, you see it talks about here, review client documentation for compliance. So you're doing that again. I mean, they talked about documentation up here and they're talking about documentation again. So you're looking for how they're repeating things, and this will give you an idea of what to incorporate into your resume. Some of the things you also want to do is you want to show how you coordinate care. You want to show how you collaborate with physicians, or you collaborate with staff, you collaborate with families. That's something that you want to highlight in your resume as well. Now, don't make it super long. I would say at max for a job, 8 bullet points. Your resume should be no more than 2 pages, but it's all about strategy and thinking through, okay, how can I highlight this in a way that will be succinct and clear, and they will know, okay, this is someone you need to bring in for an interview. Also, you want to look at what you'll bring section just to see if you are missing anything. Here it says experience working with electronic healthcare records. So this is something that you want to highlight in your technical knowledge and what systems you use in order to manage health records. Then also it talks about, again, supervisory experience, which we've covered that already. And then lastly, when you scroll down, you want to see if it gives you any insight into their culture. If it does not, you just look up the company and kind of get an idea of what type of culture they are. For this job description, they already have it there, which is great because you can pull from this. And one of the things you can see and that stood out to me is they're a strong performance culture, right? And so if they're a performance culture, how can I speak to my performance? This may be in the top of your resume at your summary section, right? And so maybe you want to highlight how you're a performance driven person. So you can highlight some things about if you've improved workflows, if you reduce operating costs, if you've been able to support staff members, what type of leader are you, and how have you, if you have, transformed the culture and transformed the environment, how you've improved other people's performance. That would be good as well. But throughout your resume, since you know that they're about performance, how many caseloads have you managed? If you secured a dollar amount of resources, you can share that amount if you can, if it's not confidential. And then if you were able to improve a client's quality of life, if there was something that you can measure, if you received feedback from families like client satisfaction, where they're praising you and saying, oh my gosh, they did an amazing job with this, include that as well. Talk that up, because that's always showing it's not something that you're bragging about, but it's showing like, I can come in there and get the job done. Like, so this is what I can do. And that is how you really go through the job description, and you can check it out. I'll show you how to use ChatGPT to do it as well. But with using ChatGPT, I always recommend that you are just inputting the information and you analyze what ChatGPT gives you, because at the end of the day, it's just regurgitating info. But that will be in my next video. So for this one, this shows you how to do it yourself and to go through to really critically think about the job description. All right, that's all I have for you today. God bless.